I think part of this has to deal with, the type of women that some guys are choosing. I think it has to do with you're talking about character issues, you're talking about temperamental stuff, you're talking about things that, usually you're vetting while you're dating this woman. You're vetting and seeing, how quickly can you piss her off. You're testing to see, what her, mental capacity is, how much BS can she take. Is she argumentative? Does she fight all the time? Like, these are things that you're pulling and testing and whatnot before you make her your woman.
Forgot I had my point written down. It was to address Sir Hale from earlier about
So you need a woman to tell you where your mistakes is at.
yeah.
So she can just pound you. You need to write down your shit, Lewis. Write down your shit. I've been telling you that every time. Write your questions down. You're always trying to remember them, but you don't fucking remember. And then you gotta say, "You right.
You right.
You right."
This Luis forgot what the hell he was gonna say.
I thought he was about to say
Louis
something.
like, shit.
You done went around the world in 160 days and yeah. I'm like, God damn.
Hey, but
around the world and
because if she steady saying it, it could be a possibility that you got a bigger issue and you don't realize it. Yeah. So that's why I say everything is always situational. You got to look at it, and sometimes we don't realize when we fucking up that much. So, I mean, just take that. Everybody's giving some solid advice. I don't think nobody's wrong. I just think that take what you need from this conversation and see if you can apply it, because you got to test it. Sometimes you may have to see if you fucking up. So you may have to take one of the guys' approaches, and then sometimes you may not be fucking up. She could be nagging. And then you take a hink approach, though. Go ahead, Sweeney.
I was gonna say this. I think there's a difference between dealing with a royal fuck up, and counting the fuck ups. There's a difference. And I think of that song by Beyonce called "Yes," right? The first time I said no, it's like I never said yes. So I think of it in the same way from a man's perspective. The first time I messed up, it's as if I've never done anything right. And that's what I mean by somebody who counts.
Sing it though, Sweeney. Sing it though.
Yeah, say the song again, because we couldn't.
I'm not familiar with that one, Sweeney. How it go? I don't know that one.
Man, look, man, I'm not doing that again. But yeah, that's how I look at it. It's a difference. If you're a royal fuck up and she every step of the way, you just keep bumping your family into wall after wall after wall after wall, that's a difference. But if every single time, if you, for the most part, you've been leading your family, okay, but you made this mistake, and then she hounds you for it, and then y'all go another 5-6 years without everything going smooth, then you make another mistake, and not only does she bring up this mistake, then she's talking about the mistake you made 5 years ago. And then she start reminding you every single time. You're like, "What? Damn, you like we doing just fine." But I get that this is a problem right here. But it's one thing to address an issue. It's another thing to hound a man and act as if he's never been a good man for you. You know what I mean? That's part of the reason why a lot of these women are leaving relationships. They leave in relationships for small, insignificant problems most of the time. And they act as if they out here saying, "Man, a man is relatively good, but you should be able to leave him anyway because you ain't happy."
I only fucked my coworker once.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a that's how I look at it. Is that just like women don't want to feel like they're always just like women don't want to feel like they always telling you no. They're like, "Damn, I've been giving you ass all week, but this day I got a headache. Now you want to sit here and get on my case about it?" You know what I mean? So, I look at it the same way.
Yeah. So let me say this. Let me say this real quick. I think part of this has to deal with, the type of women that some guys are choosing. I think it has to do with, you're talking about character issues. You're talking about temperamental stuff. You're talking about things that, usually you're vetting while you're dating this woman. You're vetting and seeing, how quickly can you piss her off. You're testing to see, what her, mental capacity is, how much BS can she take. Is she argumentative? Does she fight all the time? Like, these are things that you're pulling and testing and whatnot before you make her your woman, you know? And I think some of that stuff depends on the type of woman you chose, you know, based on how much she nags or how much hell she gives you and that type of stuff. I know for me personally, I have no problem owning any of my mistakes. I say that shit with my chest, just because I do all my research and I'm extremely calculated, so I'm not wrong very often. I'm not. But when I am, I'm dead wrong. And I take that shit and I own that shit and I let her know, babe, I fucked up. You was right. You know, this and that. And that's it. I keep it moving, keep it trucking. And usually the type of personality that meshes well with me is not going to hold over my head 24/7, 365, because I don't fuck up like that. And a lot of that has to do with the type of leadership some of the women choose. If they choose a brother that's not on his shit, they choose a brother that doesn't make great decisions, that doesn't have good decision-making skills, then maybe she might need to look elsewhere. But overall, if brothers is on their stuff, handling their business, and they're doing what's best for their family and their heart and their mind, and the majority of the time they're making the right decisions, there's no reason why she should be giving you hell all the time. And if she is, then sometimes that might not be the one for you. That might not be the one you hold on to.
And
again, this is somebody that's not been married before. So I'm just gonna throw that out there too.
Yeah, I would have been smart after Ricky and he.
Okay, if a woman reminds me of my mistakes all the goddamn time, she's also gonna remind me of the biggest mistake I ever made by what I say I do.
Mm-hmm.
And to address what something B. Madden said about decision making, right? You picking a man that can't make decisions, you a bad decision maker yourself, dude. Right? Like, we keep trying to get away from this thing that like don't attract like. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I said, I don't care what nobody say. You don't got a good woman because you ain't a good man. You fucking up or you lacking somewhere. A good woman don't have a good man because you slipping in some category somewhere.
Hello, motherfucker.
Somewhere. Nobody probably never tell you. You would probably never admit it to yourself. You would never have that look in the mirror with yourself. But I'm telling you slacking somewhere. Because good people not gonna sit around for your bullshit. They not. Good people expect a certain type of reciprocity in relationships. That's all.
Let's keep it a bang. Most people do regular ass shit. Like, the average dude is pretty much out there virtually making the same decisions the average woman is. Y'all making adult people decisions. You go to work, you pay bills. You ain't out here doing too much shit extravagant. So why are we sitting over here like to sit here and pretend as if these people that it's so hard for us to mesh well with one another? It's crazy to me, because most of y'all are just normal ass people doing normal ass shit. So if you mean to tell me you can't get together with you can't find another man out there, or a man can't find another woman out there that knows how to pay bills and be an adult, we doomed to begin with. If you can't find that, we fucked.
Normal people with abnormal mindsets, bro.
Because it don't make any sense. We all grown, we all pay bills, we all live, we all die at some point.
Bro, I think it's real simple.
Not all adults are created equal, Sweeney.
I think it's really simple. I think it depends on the spirit of how she says something, right? If we've created the culture in our relationship, or I've created that culture to where, we can crack jokes. It's cool. We can crack jokes when I do some stupid shit. It happens. You know what I'm saying? I'll be the first one, to make a self-deprecating type of joke. Like, man, I tweaked on that, whatever. But if you're trying to hit me upside the head with all my bad decisions or shortcomings, I can't rock. We can't do that. And that's the same with, even if you do something that, whether you cheated or whatever, if we say we're going to get past this, you're not going to hit me upside the head with this every time you get mad. You're not going to do that. So it really depends on the spirit of what she's saying and how she brings it up.
All right, we're gonna finish off with Sir Hill, but before we do, does everybody know what the word tweak means? Yeah.
Depends on what kind of tweak you talking about. We talking tweaking, or we talking about like tweak this a little bit?
We talking about Chicago tweaking.
Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
yeah. All right, so yeah.
I was just having this conversation. The word tweak has made me think about it, and I said it's a Chicago thing, man. I said I don't expect everybody outside of Chicago to really get what the word tweak means.
And somebody said it in the comments, man. They're absolutely right. You got a bunch of people out here that say they want a baddie, and you got a bunch of women out here that want a lifestyle that they never lived, that they can't never get a hold of, and that's why we at odds with each other right now, expecting extravagant shit in your normal ass life.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and go to Sir Hill, close out on this, get to the super chats, and get to the main topic. Go ahead, Sir Hill.
Well, this is a thought on this. Is a man been married? It'll be 16 years on the 21st of this month. Shout out. Something you learn is if your wife. So let's say your wife is not like that, and all of a sudden she is. I like what Ricky said moments ago. Something's going on, and it's important for us men to be aware of what's going on. Like sometimes we can engage into that fight. Like we can engage into her anxiety, and you just make matters worse. Sometimes before you respond to her nagging and, like check and make sure she's good. You know what I mean? Check maybe something's going on and her nagging is just really a way for her trying to get attention or have a conversation. So for all couples, if that happens, and if this is not typical, this may not be a sign that you guys need to break up. It might be a sign you guys need to talk and get to the root of an issue.